majority of states in the country allow high school athletes to profit off their name, image, and likeness. So we are currently in the minority right now, not allowing high schools to do that. And it looks like we may be surrounded by states who do allow it. Virginia passed it earlier this year. Tennessee has it. South Carolina and Georgia, last I saw, are both closely looking at it. I'm not sure if they've actually voted on it yet. So we may be surrounded by states allowing it. The NCHSAA Board of Directors commissioned a committee a while back to look at this issue and study it. And then in the spring, that committee brought forth a proposal to the Board of Directors to allow name, image, and likeness for athletes to profit off their name, image, and likeness with a lot of guardrails around it, which is something that you don't see in the NCAA. This was very structured they have checks and balances in place to make sure that it's not being abused or people are using it to recruit players to schools. And it passed. It wasn't unanimous, but it was, I think it was like 15-3 was a vote. It was clear that it was going to pass. And then shortly after it passed, the State Board of Education notified the NCHSAA that it needed to approve an NIL policy before the NCHSAA could allow the athletes to profit off their NIL. So the State Board of Education, which now has pretty broad oversight of the NCHSAA after some legislation passed back in 2021, they have to pass a rule, an eligibility rule about NIL. Well, the state legislature has not granted the State Board of Education the ability to do emergency rulemaking for this. So they have to go through the regular rulemaking process, which can take upwards of a year, 6 months to a year. So we are probably looking at next spring or summer before this could become legal in North Carolina. And that's assuming that the State Board of Education, decides to allow it. That also assumes that the state legislature doesn't get involved and ban it or do something else around it, which, if people have been following high school sports in North Carolina lately, the last several years, the legislature has been very interested in the NCHSAA. And there are some very vocal state legislators, particularly in the Senate, who do not like the fact that NIL is becoming a thing in high school, and they're very much against it. So I don't know if that's going to become a legislative agenda item at some point, but it very well could be.